Hi there, and welcome to Snake Therapy. I'm Shira, and this is Galadriel, the Colombian rainbow boa. So this is part one of my Midwest reptile tour series, and the next installment will be out soon, so make sure you hit that notification button so you don't miss it. Hi. Today we're going to talk about one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. Attending the grand opening of Clint's Reptile Room in Springville, Utah. I'm going to share some highlights from my adventure with you, along with my reviews of some other amazing creators that were in attendance. So stick around to find out who those were, why you should definitely check them out, and why they've earned Snake Therapy Gold Stars. So let's slither on into it. Yeah? On our way.
Where
We are on our way to our hotel and then to Clint's Reptiles grand opening and YouTuber meet and greet. Very excited.
Awesome.
Almost missed our flight. Well, we missed our flight and then
Not our second one though.
we got the second one. So we made it. We indeed almost didn't make it to this event after missing our flight, but thankfully we managed to catch the next one and arrived in Utah with a couple hours to spare before the grand opening pre-event visit at Clint's Reptile Room. Clint's actually had a reptile room come educational facility for a while now, but he recently did a major remodel, so this was a celebration of that accomplishment. And he invited a bunch of other fantastic reptile YouTubers from all over the continent to participate in some pretty fun activities and to meet the public over the course of a couple days. I was only able to go to the first night, but just that short time filled me to the brim with inspiration. I have dreams of having my own version of his place someday, for there are very few places on earth quite like it. So this experience was literally a dream come true, since Clint and many other folks that were there have been hugely influential on me for years. But even more importantly, these are people who are doing extremely valuable work in reptile education, increasing awareness of ethical husbandry practices and inspiring people with wonder and respect for these incredible creatures. All of our channels have something unique to offer, but our end goals are the same, so I have no problem promoting them here. There's great power in the unity of the reptile education community, especially since we're up against a massive amount of bias towards snakes and other reptiles from the general population. Unfortunately, there are also content creators out there who sacrifice animal welfare and education for views and financial gain. And not only does that pose ethical issues, but it runs the risk of endangering the reptile keeping hobby as a whole. But today, we're going to focus on the good stuff, and those creators that I think are the creme de la creme in the game. I guess I should stop here to make sure you know who Clint is if you don't already, because if you don't, you should. In my mind, Clint's Reptiles is without a doubt one of the best in class. You don't even have to like reptiles to enjoy his channel. Clint is a bright light of a human, delivering extremely knowledgeable information with a warmth, approachability, and charm that I would challenge anyone not to smile at. A professor with a PhD in biology education and a master's in evolutionary ecology, he's anything but dry when it comes to teaching. His unabashed delight and passion for animals is infectious. He's clear and straightforward with his facts while keeping you engaged and entertained. To quote his website, "We don't protect what we don't love, and we don't love what we don't know." And for sure, his vast knowledge and affable demeanor helps you come to know and love reptiles, or at very least, appreciate them. He's a champion for animal welfare and snake therapy if there ever was one. And the coolest thing about his brick and mortar establishment is that it's not just a place to look at and learn about reptiles, but to interact with, hold, and even feed them. Clint's YouTube channel has countless episodes focused on helping people understand the fundamental qualities of a specific species in order to help you judge whether the animal is the right fit for you as a pet, which is so important because just liking the look of an animal does not mean that its care requirements will suit your lifestyle. This helps preempt people impulsively buying animals without a well-rounded knowledge base of their needs, without which can lead to suffering or shortened lifespans for the animal in question. Using his 5 categories, handleability, care, hardiness, availability, and upfront costs, Clint reviews a species in depth, or reviews a set of species and compares them to each other. I'll tell you right now that it's thanks to him that I have at least one of my snakes, and also thanks to him that I didn't get a few that I thought I wanted. Clint, if you're watching this, thank you for all that you do. You are truly making the world a better place. So now you know why I was so excited to get a chance to visit. I'll admit though, I was a bundle of nerves beforehand.
Are you nervous?
I am nervous. Most of all, I'm excited, but I am nervous.
What are you nervous about?
That I'm gonna stumble over my tongue like I am now. No script, no nothing like that. Or that I'll freeze up, but hopefully not. Because really just excited to look them in the eyes and say thanks. And yeah, just kind of saying hi and talking about what we have in common, our joy and our fascination and our wonder about these incredible animals and our passion about sharing that with the world and getting people over their fears and constantly learning about them. Well, as it turns out, my nerves were overpowered by my absolute delight in the experience of getting to see his space and interact with his animals. Not to mention the fact that Clint himself turned out to be even more kind and friendly in person than he is on the channel, which is kind of hard to comprehend if you've watched any of his videos. On top of that, I got to meet a few other YouTube heroes of mine, and every one of them was welcoming, receptive, and fun to talk with. I want to highlight a few of those people next because they too are extremely important and positive forces in the reptile community. And I hope that if you haven't already seen their work, that you'll do so after this. The content on the channel Dave Kaufman's Reptile Adventures is, as the title suggests, a follow-along of his travels around the world seeking out wild reptiles, as well as visiting expos and interviewing breeders and other content creators. His adventures in the wild are not like other nature shows, however, because they focus not just on the animal in its natural habitat, but on what learning about that habitat can help influence and improve our captive husbandry of those species. This is an extremely powerful message because more often than not, we're not giving captive animals anywhere close to a replica of their native environment. The more we understand about where they come from, the better life we can offer them in captivity. In fact, I recently watched an episode of his that completely challenged my understanding of how I was keeping one of my snakes, because indeed, the care guides that I had read about the species were wrong based on Dave's findings. His work is such a valuable gift to animal welfare. I told him this in person and thanked him profusely. He was extremely friendly and, just as he is on screen, passionate, knowledgeable, genuine, and funny. He's also not just a YouTuber. He's an accomplished filmmaker and author of several books. I highly recommend you check out his work, especially if you're a reptile keeper. If you own any species he's reviewed on his adventures, you'll probably learn something new about how to provide them with a better life. I only recently discovered the All Canadian Reptile Girls channel, but she made quite an impression on me right away. Annalise is an extremely bright young woman whose homeschooled lifestyle and obviously cool and supportive parents allowed her to become quite the zookeeper and YouTube success at an early age. What a gift it must be to have so many animals and the opportunity to study them in depth starting as a teenager. Her videos have definitely influenced me with their fill of silly gifs and engaging B-roll, but more than anything, I respect how dedicated she is about doing her research, how hard she works at providing her reptiles with the most naturalistic habitats that she can, and especially how she advocates for enrichment for captive animals, an emphasis on which I find is sorely lacking in the educational content about breeding and keeping snakes in captivity. Her channel is informative while being goofy and fun, and you can follow along with her experience raising and breeding her animals, traveling to expos, and interviewing breeders. I like how she's unafraid to challenge myths and stereotypes that even many experienced reptile keepers might still fall into. I've definitely learned from her, and I've kept snakes for 25 years. Just goes to show, you should never stop learning and trying to do better, especially when it comes to caring for other living beings. Annalise and I had had a small interaction over email prior to the event, but meeting her in person felt like reuniting with a friend. Her father, who shoots and edits her videos, was there as well, and my husband and I had a great time talking shop and generally enjoying the atmosphere and excitement of the event with them at Clint's. I was really pleased to meet Mariah Healy, the author of the Reptifiles website and channel, because her research of animal husbandry is monumental for the cause of animal welfare. As her website explains, it's hard and confusing to sift through all the care sheets, websites, scientific papers, climate data, forums, etc. to get the information you need to know for how to care for a pet reptile. So she's done the work for us and provides it for free. She's a professional husbandry researcher, consultant, keeper, and currently working on her master's in natural history-based exotic animal husbandry. Some of her content has absolutely stopped me in my tracks, challenging what I thought I knew about keeping reptiles properly. I've noted on other episodes that when I first started keeping snakes, the information out there on how to take care of them was pretty limited. And as she and I discussed at Clint's, it was mostly based around just keeping them alive, as opposed to providing them with care that would help them thrive as they would in their natural environment. If you own reptiles, go straight to her website first. Your animals will thank you for it by living longer and likely being more agreeable to having a positive and therapeutic relationship with you. Oh, you're so sweet. All the people I met at Clint's for this event, not just the YouTubers, but breeders and all the staff there were so friendly, welcoming, and open. The room was built into what was once an alleyway and maintains the original brick walls from the adjoining buildings. So although it's industrial in style, the decor and the way the enclosures are designed gives the whole place a very homey vibe. He has snake rack systems that look like old wooden cabinet drawers, each with the name of the animal elegantly handwritten on the outside. Not to mention, it has a lounge area where people can sit in comfy chairs and couches to hang out with the animals. It was super fun to meet some of the animals I've seen on Clint's episodes and to talk to some of the breeders he got them from. And I was blown away by how well socialized all of them were. Clint obviously puts effort into working with his animals in order to ensure they can be safely handled by the public, which is so crucial to the mission of helping people get over their fears and appreciate them. Some of the snakes I held were species that are widely considered to be difficult to handle, like this amazing jungle carpet python. This animal was not just stunningly beautiful, but totally calm amongst the chaos of people and noise in the room. It was adorably sweet and seemed completely at ease being passed from person to person. I think the one I'd been looking forward to meeting the most, though, was the false water cobra, and I was thrilled to get the chance to hold her. These large colubrids are so gorgeous, so intelligent, powerful, and mildly venomous, but I watched her being passed to a girl that couldn't have been more than 12 without issue, and I had so much fun meeting her myself, although she kind of liked my husband better than me. She kept climbing off of me onto him. I wish I'd gotten video of that, but our hands were a little engaged at the time with Snake. All in all, I was blown away by the experience, and all those nerves I'd had beforehand melted into so much joy that my face hurt from smiling for a couple days afterwards.
Hi.
Hi.
I can see you're still smiling. What's all that about?
I can't stop smiling. That was so awesome. Yeah, that was pretty much better than I could have hoped, I think. Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic. That place was beautiful.
It was gorgeous. So if you haven't yet, go check out the folks I mentioned today. I'll put links to all of them in the description below. As of this recording, I'm just a teeny tiny new channel and they have thousands of followers, but I do hope that someday I might actually get to collaborate with some of them. A snake therapy with Clint episode would be epic. I've got a ways to go before I'm anywhere near their level, so if you would do me the honor before you go of subscribing, hitting those like and notification buttons, it'll help me so much with that tricky YouTube algorithm. And in case you didn't know, I'm on Patreon too. YouTube's fantastic. You can learn anything here, but it's not geared towards supporting creativity like Patreon is. I think Patreon's going to end up being the best social media platform for creatives because it gives us a way to not just put out content, but to develop community and receive direct support from them. Anyone can join for free, but if you do upgrade and pay a small fee, you can watch my videos without all the ads that YouTube pushes at you. And you can also receive some other fun gifts and perks while directly supporting the cause of, in my case, animal welfare and mental health awareness. It's a lot of work to make these videos, and I'm doing it without pay because I'm extremely passionate about it. But it won't put food on my table or in my animals' bellies, so supporting me in that way would truly be a boon. I'm Shira, and Galadriel and I thank you so much for being here, and stay tuned for part 2 of my Midwest Reptile Tour adventure coming soon. Don't forget to be mindful of snakes, and we'll see you next time for more snake therapy.